thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be here and to discuss the measure of labor market outcome in the case of Algeria. My name is I am Ali Souag. I am not working for the ONS. It's the national office who is responsible to do any survey, but I am working for the University of Mascara and the CRIAT. Okay. So Algeria is like any country in the world. In Algeria, we have the administrative data and we have the survey data. For the administrative data, for the labor market issues, we have the social security data, and we have two funds. We have the fund for the employees, the CNAS, Caisse Nationale de Sécurité Sociale, and we have the CASNOS for the social security for the own count worker. And the third one is the National Employment Insurance Fund, but not in this database, we don't have all the employed people. We have employed people who were in the public sector and they lost their job for the economic reason. So it's not exhaustive data for all the employed people. So, and we have the survey data. For the survey data, we had four types, and we have the labor force survey. It's the household data done 2 times by year, and in these data are the cross-sector data, because we don't keep tracking the household, and we have data from 1990 for regular trend. We have from 2001 to 2018. So in this data, we have all information of the employment, the characteristic of employment, any information in there. All the directive and the ID definition are respected here and are projected in the questionnaire. So that we can have an international comparison. This data it can't be used usually. But the only problem with that we have with this data, and this data, we don't have any information about the earning, wages and no wages. So to complete this missing, we have to use the second survey, is the earning and expenditure data. It's the household data done 1 time every 10 years. I don't know why every 10 years, but it's it's a big period to run the survey. In this data, we have all the information about earning, expenditure, and very small section about employment. So we know some characteristic of employment. So, and we have the multiple indicator cluster survey. It's a household data done every 5 years, done in collaboration of ONS with the UNICEF. In this data, we can, because in the first survey, we are missing two parts. So we are missing the earning and we are missing the social security for no occupied people. So the question about the social security in the labor force survey are concern only the occupied population. Of no occupied population, we don't have any information. We are missing all the information of the social security. So to complete this missing, we have to use the third survey, is the multiple indicator cluster survey. And in this data, we have all the social security, all the security information, details by women, by children, etc., etc. And the last one are the enterprise surveys, done 1 time every year, but this data concern only the public enterprises and in the private enterprises with 20 workers and more. And in this survey, the administrative and the agricultural sector are excluded from this survey. So I don't know exactly why, the reason why these sectors are excluded, but these data are not exhaustive. So in this data, we have the earning, wages, we have any information of the wages, but because it's not exhaustive, usually we don't use this data to export any information about the wages and the level of wages. So our question is, how can this data to answer the question proposed by Iraqi? The answer is yes. We can merge these data and use all these data, all the sources to answer 5 parts from seven sections. Why? How? I try to explain why. How? So the first one, for first part, so all the information here are informed by the labor market, the labor force survey, and we have all the information, and all the ILO definition are respected here. So for the discarded job seeker, for example, professional youth not in education, employment, or training, the time-related under rate, because here for Algeria we have to work 40 hours per week, and we have the information how many hours did you work during the reference week, so we can calculate this rate. And for the potential labor force, we have question about the active people who will participate in the show. They did participate in the labor force, but they will participate in short time for some reasons. So for the other question, the answer is yes. Yes, we can use all the labor force survey to answer all the questions about the type of employment, for the purpose in the government employment, for the purpose in public enterprises. For the informal and informal, we have some information regarding comparing to the other countries. So we know the social security for employees are registered or not, and we know for the employers if the business is registered or not in the administration. So we are missing only employees for the sector formal policy. We are missing this information only for the employees. So we can use the 3 questions adding to the social security, and you can use the size of enterprise to estimate the informal sector. So you can use 5 or 4 questions to get good picture for the formal and informal. Given that in Algeria, the share of the informal economy is 50%. Okay, for the regulation of employment, the working time, here I thought that we are talking about the permanent and non-permanent. But for the concept of regulated, the answer is no, it's not yes. So to correct this, we have to add some question in the questionnaire or to capture this phenomena. And for working time, the answer is yes. We have the how many hours did you work during the reference week. Okay, so the earning and the wages, as I said, here, this information is not available in the questionnaire, in the labor force questionnaire, but it is in the earning and in the household expenditure data. We are missing 2 questions, the nominal hourly earning, because the unit in the questionnaire is the week or the month. So we can add, to correct this, just we can add the unit, the hour in the questionnaire, and we can capture the. For the social protection, here, so as I said, the social protection, in the labor force survey, the question is answered, the question concerns only the occupied population. So we are missing the employed people and the inactive people. For the employed people and the inactive people, you can use the mixed survey to answer all the other questions. Here, I said for the first question, we can use the labor force survey to answer the question, but for the share of employed receiving regular employment, the answer is no, because for 2 reasons. Because in Algeria, not every employment people is receiving allocation. Only people who were in the public sector and he lost his job, so he can receive this allocation. So here, so we can add question to capture this for the public sector only, but for everybody, so nobody is receiving this allocation. It doesn't matter. Okay, so for the social health protection, so yes, we can use the mixed survey. The mixed survey with periodicity, the first one was done in 1995, and the last one in 2018. It's very recent. So for the second part of social protection, social protection, the answer is yes. For or the question, or the by gender, we can have by gender, by discontinued children, by employed person, by older person, but using the mixed survey and not the labor force survey. If we want to use the labor force survey, we have to add some information, some question in the questionnaire, that's a section. For safety at work, this part is not informed by any survey. So, how to deal with this? I think this, because safety at work, this phenomenon is very, very rare, and they have probability to happen is very small. So, I think it could be useful to use administrative data. For example, the data coming from the CNAS, because in the CNAS we have this information. But when we are using this the administrative data, we observe only this phenomenon in the formal sector, not informal sector. So we can use both. So for the formal, we can use the data coming from the CNAS, and for the informal, we just add section in the questionnaire to get this information. It's same for the industry relationship. This part is not informed in anywhere, and we to have it, so we need to just add a special section in the labor force on the. Thank you so much.